What? I'm not sure you can say that on television. Let me show you his picture. Well, I'll tell you this, when you're hot, but this is not how you want to be hot. Here is the beloved Morton Downey Jr. following what he says was an attack at the San Francisco airport in the men's room by 3 skinheads who cut his hair and painted a swastika on his face. Mr. Downey once again finds himself on the front page of everybody's hometown newspaper, and he is here to say, among other things, that what he said was true. And in spite of the doubting expressions that have come from the airport police at San Francisco, he says he passed a lie detector test and he's got his own witnesses. And I told him we've got the fairest audience in all of television. And I know you believe as I do that we're all innocent. We may want this concession someday for ourselves until we're proven guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, Morton Downey Jr.
I want a big, juicy
TV in a condition that he's not likely to show up at a senior prom with that face. But Morton Downey Jr. is here in the company of his beloved daughter, just one of them. Tracy Downey Cole joins us, who was with her father on the night of this incident in San Francisco. Lloyd Schoonmaker joins us, Morton's musical director and the artist you just heard on this record. Robin Hardy also came in. We're glad you're here. You're the limo driver.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you this, when all else fails, call your limo driver. Okay, Morton, here's what's not so funny. Now, first of all, you've got a lot of general managers very nervous, and they have a constituency too, and this is a community of people not always crazy about what we do on this program, so I'm more than passingly familiar with the anxieties that are out there, about, especially now that everybody's on talk shows, everybody is complaining about trash television. Are you in professional jeopardy here? I mean, is it possible that your own company would sever its professional relationship with you and dump the show altogether?
Sure, I'm in professional jeopardy, and if I'm lying, I'm obviously already in mental jeopardy and need a rubber room. My people have to be concerned with what the managers feel at television stations that carry my show, about the veracity of the statements I make. They have to be concerned because advertisers all of a sudden say, ugh, you know, the guy was ugly before they did this to him. I don't want to necessarily, sponsor a show like that. So, yes, there is the danger, and the danger is that when this type of thing continues to portray itself in the newspapers, it looks like trouble follows Downey, when in reality, trouble follows every American who hits the streets today because of the problems that are out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're not quite like every American, though, Morton.
But I try to be.
But that night he was, because the officers that came to the scene on an assault call did not know who he was. Their first response when they came to the car was, have you been drinking?
They also
not
acted
what
as
happened.
if he started it, which he didn't start.
Yeah.
They didn't even stay to listen to what he was saying.
Are you suggesting that they didn't recognize him because of the disfigured face, or because they just didn't...
They just didn't recognize him.
The show wasn't held in San Francisco, and so there was a lot of people that weren't familiar with Morton Downey.
He said his name,
and I said his name. I had the policeman write the name down. This is Morton Downey. This is the hotel we're at. This is the room. They hee-hawed around about it. They kept accusing him of being drunk and this kind of thing. And finally, Mort was saying, let's just get out of here, Lloyd. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. And I said, call us if you want us at the hotel. Boom, we were gone.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the police failure to recognize Morton works toward his defense.
Well, what they're saying
let me say this. I'm not sure it works towards my defense. I never kept a diary. I didn't realize that a victim had to defend themselves, all right? But I understand that now. I understand why a woman doesn't report she's raped anymore, all right? I understand what you go through. I understand only that the little person, if I got treated that way, imagine how the person who's not known at all to anyone gets treated.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say, is that it doesn't matter if you're Joe Smith or you're Morton Downey Jr.
So this is a commentary on what you consider to be the cavalier behavior of the police department.
At that time,
The San Francisco Authority Police. Let me just review. Let's see this. This is the interview you conducted at your hotel room, I believe, the night of the incident. Yeah, it must have been, unless you slept with this stuff on your face. It was the night of the incident. So this is Morton, and incidentally, everybody testified that Morton was in very bad emotional condition following this thing. He was frightened. He was certainly depressed, and maybe there was a tear or two, I'm told. So you were really, how shall we put it, frightened and at the bottom of the emotional ladder here. And here's your interview with the San Francisco television station. Roll the tape.
I have no idea. I have no idea. First, they got me from behind. Then they brought me, one guy had me around the neck. Another guy was pulling me from my eyes. I don't think he was trying to cover my eyes. I think he was just pulling me back. One guy sat on me, threw my face back to the wall with their arm in it. And that's when I knew there was a third guy, because the third guy started writing all over my face. And I then kicked out, and one guy yelled, "Kill me," and the other guy just started cutting my hair off. And when they finished cutting my hair, in the beginning they said, "Don't get mad, get even." In the end, they said, "Sig Heil." And somewhere in there, they said, "Now you're one of us." It's just a random thing of some people who are trying to be big shots who have absolutely no balls whatsoever. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I wouldn't give them a minute of publicity, because that's the type of thing they're looking for. So if you're smart, you don't even run this story. That's all they're looking for. Those kind of guys want publicity. Makes them feel important. Trouble with just kill the camera and forget it.
The airport police revealed that their investigation showed that there was certainly no way to prove that this happened to you. Let's put it that way. And they are leaning toward some sort of story that you yourself concocted. Yep. We should also say that you have acknowledged openly that you consumed alcohol prior to this incident. I think you said you had gin and cranberry juice?
Vodka and cranberry
juice. 5 of them. Is that the best?
I had 5 of them, and to be honest with you, I had one on the way back in the limousine.
Okay, so you got to the airport. Do you recall feeling pretty good?
As far as concocting the story, it's absolutely ridiculous, and this is what makes me angry. We had a beautiful weekend in Denver.
You had been reconnected to a station in San Francisco?
Yes, in San Francisco. We were out on a boat. We did a great job, and he did a wonderful job talking to the press, and it was the last 10 minutes, and we were happy. We had all of our stuff. Tracy was there with us. We had the limo wait because she was going back to the hotel.
I wouldn't delay 3 minutes.
We walked
I'm getting back to my fiance, right? I wouldn't delay 3 minutes.
He was not soused.
We walked in. I was standing in line.
He was not soused. Back to what you were saying about the vodka and cranberry juice. He could have walked a straight line going into that airport.
You were smiling.
We were
when you left
talking
me,
just like we are now. He was not soused.
I had to change tickets. Mort was standing there with me. I had to change from United to American. I was standing at the counter. Mort came over and tapped me and said, "Lloyd, I'm going to go to the bathroom."
The important thing is I shouldn't be the center of the story, all right? Here I am. It's telling everyone in America, walk around with a diary. Ladies, if you're raped, to prove that you were raped, make sure that you keep the semen inside of you. Make sure that all of those things go so that you can prove you were raped, instead of having the airport police, it never would have happened in New York, having the airport police go out and investigate the crime that took place and not try to cover their own butts by showing that one did.
They didn't even ask him
Had
any
you
relevant
seen
questions.
him in the, when I picked him up and helped him out of the stall, the fear on his face, I knew, I mean, it was just unbelievable. I have never seen him that way before, and there was hair all over. And I got him. I didn't know. I thought they might have been around there.
You found him in the stall, did you?
I found him in the stall. I came in the bathroom. Yeah, Mort, where are you? We got to go. We got 10 minutes to catch a plane. And walked around. There was an island. I walked around. I saw his luggage or a bag of his. And I said, "Mort!" And he was in the stall. And he said, "Lloyd, Lloyd." And I said, "My God, what's going on?" And I pushed the door. He was leaning up against it. Opened the door. And I said, "What the hell happened to you?" Yeah. And he said, and he was kind of delirious.
Airport police found no hair. Airport police found an unidentified witness who saw me do it to myself, who has since disappeared. Airport police found 2 Filipinos who saw it, but now can't speak English. You know, this is amazing. Why the hell don't they look for it?
Right. It just makes us angry. If you had just seen his face, if you were there, but they weren't there.
And I went in the airport right after it happened to get the luggage from the men's room foyer, and nobody was looking. It was as if if anyone had looked at him, they would have gone out to see what was wrong with him.
There wasn't anybody around. There was an American Airlines counter lady.
And that's it. And she didn't
yelled,
see
"Do you need any help?" And when we got out, and I said, "Yes." And that was it. You
came out being carried by these guys. I thought you were cut up. You looked really horrible.
You were going to return from the airport in the limousine. So
right. My car was back at the hotel, and I was going to stay the night and then leave the next morning. I am a trained emergency medical technician by the state of California. And my first reaction to him was, my God, I thought he had been stabbed or shot. He was that incoherent. I found a lump on the back of his head. His eye had been smashed. His shirt had been torn. He was a wreck.
Well, let's review here for just a moment. Let's understand this is more than a celebrity item here. We're talking about the survival or the termination of a television program that has certainly allowed the frenzied so-called serious media folk to have their own weekly orgies of indignation. Morton, they've run out of adjectives to condemn Brother Downey. And in the country of the First Amendment, I hope you'll understand when I say that can't be all bad. We could use a little more, maybe, different ideas on television. Morton is a proud member of the conservative political community. I don't think you'd be upset at that description. And who says that's a bad idea to have somebody like that on television? God knows we've got enough liberals. But the more serious question now becomes this talk show host's credibility. And I assure you, I have no intention of coming down from on high to patronize him other than to say it looks like we've got ourselves a situation here where we either believe Mort or we don't. That's your American choice. The question becomes, in light of the fact that we can't disprove his story, is it possible that frightened, usually anxious members of the management community who oversee his program or the stations that carry it might flee from him even though no proof of his guilt has been offered? What does this do to Morton Downey's future? And will his very interesting light be missing from the talk show bank of lights that have been become so proliferated lately? You wanted to say, sir?
I just wanted to say that I can understand the people who produce my show being upset at having a picture like was on television just a moment ago. It's an ugly scene. Whenever we look at the reality of what's happening in the world, it's an ugly scene. When we looked at the pictures of Vietnam, it was an ugly scene. It brought about the end of Vietnam. When we look at the pictures of Downey with his face marked up, his hair cut up, it's an ugly scene. Is it the end of Downey? If it's the end of Downey, someone else will come along and do it. Believe me, there'll always be someone else.
Yeah, I hope you're right. It's nice of you to throw yourself on the sword like this. The problem, of course, is that it makes it more difficult. It makes it more difficult for somebody else to... You opened the door. You got in with this outrageous persona. And that was a considerable achievement. Now the question is, how far is too far, and who shall decide? And will the multinational companies who really, in major way, determine whether or not you and I survive, be patient with this incident? That's the question. And I understand now you are in 73 markets.
Yes, sir.
That's not bad. You know, for a guy who's not likely to be invited to the church picnic to make a speech. So we can only speculate now. And here you are. I hope my daughter will, I'm sure she would. I do believe my daughter would do the same for me if her father were in similar circumstance. A couple of things before we take the phones and let this audience question you more. You're no longer going to gay bash, is that right? You had meetings with gay community political activists in San Francisco.
I never felt I did gay bash, but they pointed out some areas where indeed I was at least insensitive to their lifestyle. You know, there are people who are weird in every segment of society, whether it's straight people, gay people, you know, whatever kind of people. And when I bash someone, it'll be because of a particular segment of them, and not because of the entire segment of the population.
Let me, are the police ready? I mean, we got them on tape. Relax. They're not here.
I wish they were.
I wish they were.
Yeah.
They're lying.
Okay, here's what the cop said at the airport. Watch this.
Up to this time, we have had no evidence that any of the statements that Mr. Downey made could be confirmed. He was upset. He had been drinking, and he basically refused help, and he didn't want any police action taken at the time. Mr. Downey claimed that he was knocked to the ground in the restroom. He was dragged in a stall. He had his hair cut, and he had swastikas printed on him, on his clothing. The witnesses that were in the area saw no confrontation in the restroom. There was someone that was there for that period of time, saw no confrontation, and we saw no skinheads here at the airport during that period of time with all of the questioning that we have had with passengers and employees.
Pretend somebody accuses you of something, and you can't prove that it isn't true, and your boss fires you just because he thinks you're lying.
And I never saw one of those policemen who made positive statements that I said, or I didn't say. They were not in evidence.
One other thing. Is it Jim Langdon?
Jim Langan.
Langan. Used to be a producer for you?
No, Jim Langan was my road manager. My stepmother was his guardian. He came to work for me at my insistence because he hadn't worked for 3 years, and my stepmother asked me if I'd hire him. I hired him as a chief writer for my show, which is kind of funny because my show isn't written. I brought him...
All right, well, let me...
No, the point is, this is
you
the
got him
man
his job.
I got him a job that paid him $151,000 in 10 months, all right? That's the job I got him. I paid his electric bill, his motel bill, I paid every bill, and during the entire time, he has said that he is going to sell a story on me if I let him go. I never reported his cocaine use or anything else.
Well,
now, if it's a war, let him know. If it is a war, he has thrown the first grenade.
Yes,
I am there with my flamethrower.
Yeah. We can only speculate on how comfortable my management team is to hear you say that on this program. Here's the point. He is on record as saying that you had told him at a luncheon some weeks ago, that you were concerned about your skidding popularity and the fact that some stations were canceling and you had to do a publicity gimmick, and so he speculates that this was it, and that earned this rather
Sir, he has.
Sharp rejoinder from you.
He's also been paid $10,000 by another television show, which I won't name, to report on what he knows about me. He's also a gentleman that I would never in a million years worry about. I fired him. He tried to extort $12,500 from my lawyer, and if I wouldn't pay him, he would go to the press.
And you passed the lie detector test.
Yes, sir, I did.
Right. And there are no witnesses. What do you want to do? What should management do about the issue, the case of Morton Downey Jr.? Are you there, caller? Go ahead.
Yeah, Phil, I was wondering why Morton Downey, or anyone else for that matter, would actually make up a story like this. If a girl gets raped, do they say to her, have you been drinking before? Maybe you weren't raped.
Well,
I believe Morton Downey 100%.
Well, he thanks you. He thanks you.
Thank you.
He may be looking for jurors here along the way. You might want to... I'm glad you called. Go ahead. Hi.
Hello. I'd like to say this about Morton Downey's shows, is that I don't want to dispute whether this happened or not to him, but the thing that surprises me is that shows like Morton Downey's, where he's not actually trying to come up with an objective description of various opinions, but he's just practically ramming his opinion down other people's throats,
right,
should end up in causing behavior like this. You know, if you go to Morton Downey Jr.'s show and you have a view which is opposite to his, the chances of you getting a point across are so minimal that people will end up getting extremely upset.
Yeah. Mr. Downey responding.
I respond that you're absolutely right. I am an advocate. I do not hold myself out as someone who does not have a firm in stone opinion. But I can also add there has never been a fight inside or outside my studio audience. My guess, that's a different story.
I'm glad you waited. Hi, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Downey stated that trouble follows everyone. I honestly believe trouble follows Mr. Downey because of his show. I mean, he bashes everyone. He just annoys everyone. And as far as his credibility, I mean, Geraldo was attacked on the air, all right? Phil, you wore a dress. Everybody saw that. No one saw him be attacked.
So therefore, he should be on the air and I shouldn't.
How often does a rapist invite a crowd to the raping?
That's right.
I want to give them another sense of your show, and we'll do that in a moment. Are you there, caller? Hi.
Hi. I'd just like to say that, in fact, this really did happen to Morton Downey Jr., that it's about time that this happened. He is a degrading. He puts people down. He shuts them up. He spits on people, and I am surprised he hasn't been murdered.
Because you annoy somebody, does that mean it gives somebody the right to come and murder you?
He's ignorant to people. He's totally humiliating to people.
You sound pretty rude to me.
I hope you're not. I hope we're not that insecure that we can't. Is the first cut of the Downey show available? All right, here's. Let's show that. You can see your television set. Hey, he's different. Say what you want about Mort. Here he is speaking. Say that.
Say that, Jerry. All right. The death penalty. The bleeding heart. Pablum pukers think it's cruel and unusual punishment. Like hell, I don't think it's cruel or unusual enough. I'm sick and tired of hearing about defendants' rights and prisoners' rights. How about the rights of the people being murdered every day? Because the law has no teeth. The electric chair, I'd hit that damn switch faster than a 2-bit gambler in a room full of slot machines. Murderers and drug pushers, I say, hang the creeps by their testicles!
We don't want this off television, do we? Isn't this the land of the First Amendment? And aren't we and media's getting kind of boardroom anyway, aren't they? They're all wearing ties today, and, they're all serious. And maybe we could use a little more raucousness in our media. Are you there, caller? Hi.
Hi. Hello?
Yeah.
I want to ask Morton a question.
Sure.
With the type of show that he's been running all these years, name calling and whatever else he's said on television. I've been watching him ever since he's been on TV.
Yes, you had a point to make, and I don't have a lot of time.
Why would he go anywhere by himself like that? When he knows that...
Let me tell you. I am... First of all, I try very hard not to invite people to the men's room with me. Secondly, I walk the streets of New York, and every city I go to without bodyguards. No one bothers me. People are not what the press portrays them to be, and sometimes what I even portray them to be. I've been treated very genteelly.
Yeah, let me just show. Here is the men's room. Listen, if we can't show you this, then you won't have all the news. Here's the men's room at which Morton has told, look, there's a poor guy in the stall. You never know. I'll tell you got to be careful. You'll be on the evening news these days. Your basic airport men's room, Mort, you're saying the 3 chaps and you were the only people in the place at the time.
I'm sure there's 2, all right? I'm not positive there were 3. The only reason I said there was 3 was that at the end, one guy walking out, the second guy who was behind me who walked out, the first guy, I beg your pardon, said, all clear. So, and he was asking the question rather than making a statement.
Now, you did pass a lie test, is that so?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, this was a lie test administered by your...
My attorney wanted it administered, frankly, so that we could keep it, or 2 years from now, when someone said, I remember when you were supposedly attacked. And
so you want it for your own protection.
So. You bet.
We are in New York City with Mort, his loving daughter, and 2 friends who say he's innocent. And now I guess it's up to the management teams of not only his company, but the stations that carry the show to decide, shall Morton survive on television with his program or not? And we'll let this audience offer its own judgment in just a moment. You will understand that I want it clear that your charge about Mr. Langan was made without proof and certainly We had no way to anticipate it. And the important feature of this observation that you made is that somebody could say something about you or anyone else on television, especially when they're not here to defend themselves. So we have no proof. Hello. I'm so glad you joined us today. Yes.
Yes. I love your show. And as for you, Mr. Downey, I believe you 100%. I don't think there's anyone that would go through what you went through for publicity or any other reason.
Well, he thanks you.
Let me tell you, I have known Mort Downey for 16 years, Phil.
Yeah.
And there is no way that he would ever cut his own hair.
Yeah. Over here, please.
Hi, Mr. Downey, I also believe you. And I feel sorry for people who are in the public eye because many times they really cannot lead a normal life. Well. They are harassed by others, the press follows them, and it's a shame. And I also happen to know that the police are not always angels. But I don't think a person could possibly make up, with the look on your face, I know that that was not something that was put on. That really happened to you.
I'm going to try to continue to live a normal life, too, just like everyone else does.
What time did all this happen that you were in an airport bathroom all by yourself, no one else in there?
I was at the ticket counter. It all happened about 11:20. I was at the ticket counter. He wanted to go to the bathroom, went to the bathroom. I could actually see the bathroom, so he wasn't out of view. It went in. I don't hold his hand. I travel with him, but I don't hold his hand when he goes into the bathroom.
Yeah. If he'd wanted publicity, at the airport would have been the time to do it. I mean, we were there. He kept saying, let's go, let's get to the hotel. I don't want any publicity. When we got there, he wanted something to cover himself up with to get into the hotel. If he staged it, that would have been it. I would have been there saying, oh, God, it happened. Everybody would have.
I'm from the other side because I don't believe you. But won't it all come down to whether your show is making money or whether it isn't? Well, it's dollar and cents.
You betcha. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Boils down to what the bottom line is, and if too many stations like you don't believe me, then I'm off the air.
But make the point
without the trial.
You could draw a very big crowd and still be canceled. Let's understand that. Yes. It's about the nature of the program and the reticence of some sponsors to attach their name.
With the reference, Phil, of that gentleman whose name we mentioned before, I won't mention again, saying that I had met with him, my ratings were flagging, they were down. Indeed, the month of February, my ratings were up in the New York area 43%. I don't understand.
Sir.
Yes, I don't believe you, Mort. I think that you had too much heat from the gold mine scams, and I liken this to the Tawana Brawley story.
Well, you see, when you say I had too much heat with the gold mine scam,
you keep saying that you liken this to a woman being raped, and I don't go for that.
All right, so that's fine. And thank God you have the right for that belief. But you also heard about the gold mine scam, then 2 days later didn't see the United States Department of Justice come on the news and say that Downey was the one who brought them the scam and went underground to reveal it himself, testified in court, and sent 7 prominent organized crime figures to jail for a maximum of 120 years. Try it sometime, pal.
I lived with him at that time. I also worked for the company at that time. That's another story in itself.
Are you there, caller? Hi.
Hi, I'm Jim Haight from New York skinhead band Zero Tolerance. I think you deserved it, Mort. If you did get beat up, great. Because after what you did to the Mexicans on TV, you deserve whatever you get, man.
So he's a skinhead who says you weren't fair to them. This seems to make, you might want to call him as a character witness. Nor would I have been
fair to Adolf Hitler if I were alive.
Are you there, caller? Hi.
Yes, I'm not a big fan of your show, but I want to know why you can't be as calm and rational on your own show as you are today. I think it might make your own show a lot more productive.
If there's anybody left who hasn't seen the Morton Downey show, let me share with you just here's some of what Mort does on his program. Here's just an excerpt. Roll this tape.
What happened during the McCarthy era, when there were unprincipled attacks upon the institutions of higher education, unprincipled attacks against college professors, purges were made, education was the victim. It is the only way, probably, that education can guard itself against the right-wing lunatic fringe that you embody most of the time, Mort.
Would you agree with me, then, that at times it is people such as pablum-puking scum as yourself who make the decisions as to who sit on a board, as to who will become tenured in a school, and you make sure that the so-called radical right-wing bums like me never get tenured. So it's only your philosophies
that
get into the brains of people, so you brainwash. Because all you do
that's
is
typically
brainwash.
mistaken,
All
Downey.
you
Don't
do
you
is
try and pass that off. Don't you try and pass that
Let's
off.
come back and see what these people have to say.
You want them to act like... you want them to... Sir.
Several weeks ago on public television, yourself and Mr. Downey, in response to Fred Friendly's discussion of insensitivity in the media, directed a question at you and asked you why you were in drag for one particular show and showed a clip. And Mr. Downey, during the same show, and you said that, well, you have to recognize that oftentimes we do things to hype our ratings, and both of you agreed. Now, why can't I, as a member of the public,
wonder whether he did this?
Be skeptical about the whole thing.
You can. The question is that this, if it is a publicity stunt, it so undermines his credibility that you know, his company is considering no longer doing business with him. So
unless you believe in publicity at any price, as many people say.
Well, the other point is you can't prove that. Do you agree that we can't prove what happened here? We have. So aren't we left in the good old American sense of accepting the man's word?
Or being skeptical of it. You're right.
Everybody got their own opinion. There's no doubt about that. But this is my father. This is somebody I love very, very much. And I was there. I was there. Everything that the press has been saying, is bull.
The media is coming from one direction as if they were there when it happened. I was really surprised when I turned the TV on the next morning and saw that they were saying it didn't happen at all. I mean, it did happen. I was there, and they're acting like they were there.
But
and they're saying it didn't happen.
It will make people chuckle to hear somebody from media mad at media. You know, nobody likes media, and now it's becoming clear neither do a lot of media like media. Often people who own media won't go near their own reporters. Yes.
Oh, this is a silly question, but I'm curious. How did your hair go back so fast?
It's a very fair question. I've been asked by my fiancée not to take this rug off. And I will not violate what she said, but it's a rug. That's how it grew back so fast. The miracle of an $1,850.
Just like you did that. Was that a snap in the front?
It's a snap.
Yeah, do that again. I'm not sure we got it here.
They put snaps on it, all right?
I see. I see. Uh-huh.
I didn't take it off. I promised I would.
You believe him? You do?
I did, and I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Now I believe.
I really want to believe you. I have a lot of sympathy for your story, but what I'm wondering is, why isn't anyone up on the panel that's not a friend or family member? Why wasn't there anyone there, like an American airline?
They wouldn't come.
I know you're a limo driver, but I'm sure also that you're friends and you have some compassion.
We had never
for
met
Mr.
her
Downey.
until that night. She picked us up.
You're not
never
Mr.
met her.
Downey's
She was
driver?
hired. She was. No.
I just was angry. They were
I thought
lying.
she was Mr. Downey's personal
That he
driver.
flew to San Francisco so that he'd have his own driver?
No.
I wish.
We had never met her until that night.
These things. That's true. That's true.
Believe me, if we wanted a publicity stunt, we'd have done a whole lot better than this.
Right at the airport, too.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Taste your love with all your heart. Close your eyes and taste this. Introducing Promise Extra Light Spread. With half the saturated fat, salt, and calories of regular margarine. Without cholesterol, without sacrificing taste. So enjoy it with a passion. New Promise Extra Light.
I wanted to lose weight, but couldn't stand the skimpy portions of food on most weight loss programs.
I'm Jenny Craig, and our person-to-person program lets you eat 3 meals and 3 snacks daily. You'll also enjoy salads and fresh fruits and vegetables every day.
With Jenny's help, I lost 97 pounds in 29 weeks, and I loved what I got to eat.
Lose all the weight you want for only a $185 service fee. Jenny's Cuisine not included. Call now.
Words from Estee Lauder. Knowing is all. Now at Weinstock's.
After years of extensive research and development, the people at Starting Point are proud to announce the discovery of a machine that can help treat drug and alcohol addiction. It's easy to use, it's safe, and best of all, it's available to anyone who suffers from this problem. If you don't call, we can't help.
Cure, fire, cure, call the loudmouth method. I think you better give it a try. Just tell him. Zip it. What did he say? You heard him. Zip it. What did he say? He didn't say whip it.
Chuck Ross, are you there?
I sure am, Phil.
You are a reporter for the San Francisco Chronicle, and I understand you're watching our program as it is fed live to KGO in San Francisco. Right. And I wanted you to have a shot here. What do you think? And with very little time, what kind of inquiry might you want to make of Mr. Downey?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I think the skepticism isn't necessarily of the media. The skepticism is that we're reporting of the police, the problems the police have with Mort's story. Mort, I've got a couple of questions. First of all, if these were skinheads, Aryan white racist supremacists, why was the swastikas drawn in reverse, the pictures that we've seen?
You know, I finally asked that question of Jim Gabbert, who is the owner of the station in San Francisco, which shows my program out there, which, of course, your company once showed. And he gave out 30 pieces of paper to 30 employees. 15 drew it one way, 15 drew it another. You'd have to ask Jim Gabbert. He's already answered that question.
Did you, the implication is that you looked in the mirror and did it, but it is also believable that a skinhead would be capable of drawing a swastika backward.
Right.
Yes.
Are you, did you want another shot here, Chuck?
Yeah, Mort, I've got another question. What were skinheads, do you think, doing at the airport around 11:20 in the evening? Were they just waiting for Morton Downey to show up?
I don't even know for sure that they were skinheads. I didn't make the initial accusation that was a skinhead. It was said by a reporter, perhaps these were skinheads, and I answered perhaps so because they said Sig Heil. Right. I don't think that they were Jewish rabbis.
Yeah, but you also have no memory of any faces.
I did have the memory of the one face, which was with the red hair, the type of red hair that you don't have freckles with.
Right. Is Rosenthal there?
Sure is. Just a moment.
David Rosenthal, San Jose Mercury News. You wanted to ask, having watched our show out there in San Francisco up till now, you wanted to ask what?
Well, I was on the boat earlier in the evening with Mr. Downey, and I was curious also that I'd heard that Lloyd, his first call was to the station owner who had been on the boat also instead of the police. Is that correct?
That's exactly right.
Now, let me get this catch up here. This is a boat party. Mort is back in San Francisco. He's met with gay community activists there saying he's not going to be this bad guy anymore. Everything is hunky-downy. And now he's back on television, and that's a big deal. Now we're on a boat. We're having some drinks. And when the incident happened, you called the general manager.
After we got him out to the car, I came in and called the man that was taking care of us. I said, look, Mort's been mugged, Jim Gabbert. What do we do? He said, call the police. I called the lady there. I said, call the police.
Right.
That I was getting.
Go ahead, David.
But why wasn't that your first reaction? A normal person would know. It just seems odd you'd call the general manager first and the police.
I told the airport, the lady at the American Airlines, I said, yes, we need help. I assumed she would have called the police right then. Then I called Jim Gabbert. I didn't know what to do. I probably did the wrong thing. I'm in a panic. The guy has been hurt. I got him out in the car. I went in and called the guy. I said, what'll I do? He said, call the police. I called the police. That's my first reaction.
if you were calling the police, and you said she was.
Yeah, the girl at the American Airlines called.
Go ahead, David.
I have another question for Mort. He's always been a very big supporter of the police. What do you think would motivate them to either not check out this story or to, as you were saying now, lie about it?
I really don't know what would motivate someone unless they just didn't do anything about the story until 5, 6, 7, 8 hours later. I should not be the one that is worrying about myself. I should be worrying about what happens to so many other victims in this country when they make the same type of a report.
Hang on a minute, David.
Or the victim?
I just want to know whether he sought any medical attention after all of this happened.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did.
You did, yes.
My doctor is here.
With all the beefed-up airline security these days, where was all the security?
There wasn't anyone around there. There was no one there.
The police are saying 12 to 15. There was no one.
Not one attendant came over. No one.
I'm not surprised. It's 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't really like your show, Mr. Downey. In fact, I think it's pretty base. But I don't even think you would make up a story like that. I don't know why anybody would do that. He's a smart enough man. He could have thought up a better publicity stunt than that.
That's what I said.
Yes, sir.
What puzzles me is the last comment you made during the interview. If you said it shouldn't be a story and you're in the business, why did you have the press get involved?
Well,
that's what puzzles me.
I didn't have them get involved, and I think these two people can answer.
You gave the interview.
Well, that was his station, though. It was his station.
My own station that came in.
It was his station that came in. It was my fault. I should not have let them in. They pushed their way
Everyone
through.
keeps saying that they can't believe that people make up a story like this. We have a member of the New York State community made up a story like this. Tawana Brawley, remember that? And I can't help but liken this story to hers.
You bet. I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the chauffeur. You're a working person. I'd like to know who's paying your expenses while you're traveling.
We flew her in. I hope we did. Yeah.
I
Morton
hope
did.
so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'd like to know where Morton Downey gets his audience from. They're all so rowdy and loud.
They write in for tickets the same as they do with this show. The only difference is, as I say, there is no license for politeness.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask if Mr. Downey has other children, and if you do, are they as supportive as your daughter that's here with you
I
now?
have 2 other daughters, and both of them are just as supportive.
This is the United States, and whether I like you or not is immaterial. The fact is that you should be proven guilty.
Right now, he's
innocent, and before we place our opinion of you, of this incident, you should be proven guilty.
Do I have to be proven guilty?
Innocent.
Do I have to
No,
prove that a
we're in the
crime
United-
was committed
No,
against me?
she's making your case more.
No, I know,
I'm
she's
making,
right.
I believe,
I appreciate
thank you.
I appreciate it, but
Yeah.
the point is...
How many
A,
tickets do you want to give her for
I'm
your
not-
show?
None.
A, I'm not guilty, but B, why do I have to prove I'm innocent when a crime is perpetrated against me?
Because you're a famous face, and here we go
But
again.
did you
That's a
have to
great
prove
story.
that you were attacked in the airport? Did Dan Rather have to approve that he was attacked on Park Avenue?
I certainly would have had to prove it if there were no one else to collaborate my
But when
story.
they say trouble follows Downey, no one could be any farther from having trouble follow than Dan Rather, but he got punched out on Park Avenue. Phil Donahue, they tried to punch out in an airport.
And I joined you with a life experience that, if I'm reading the right notes, you've had yourself. I spent some time in jail, and I didn't enjoy it, even a little bit. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Is crawling across this country. The KKK and the skinheads. We know them all too well. Why don't you sleazy bastards who call yourself...
The people in our office who love and care about me want me to explain that my incarceration followed an altercation with a LaRouche at LaGuardia Airport, at which time I was placed in the slammer at LaGuardia Airport. I just want to make that. And Mort went to jail because his father cooperated with a bad check that you had signed, and you did 61 days?
61 days for a $63 check when I was 22.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. What I really can't understand is you guys really didn't see it happen. How could you honestly defend him? I mean, you're up
I
there
can sit
saying, we saw this, we saw that, but you weren't right in the bathroom when it happened.
I am a trained emergency medical technician. I worked in Paramount
But that doesn't
General
matter.
Hospital.
You weren't in the bathroom.
It's a feeling you get.
I've known Mort for 16 years.
I mean,
when
I
I
could
took
fall
him
down
out
the
of the
steps and
stall,
hurt myself and say somebody pushed me.
when I took him out of the
right?
stall, I looked into his eyes. There was absolute total fear, and I'd never seen that in any man in my life. I know he was frightened, and that's how I can sit here and defend him.
I think this is all an act, and I think that the writer that they hired is grossly overpaid.
What has been the general reaction? Are people for you or against you?
What's the poll look like, Mort?
I don't know. I haven't really looked for a poll. I know that the people who love me believe me. And that's really the most important thing. My children, my friends, my fiance, and Bob Pittman and his people. But let me just tell you something. I'm going to give out certificates later on for all of you to join me in the bathroom for a haircut. Right?
Why didn't you wash your face? If this wasn't a publicity stunt, why did you leave this on your face?
Well, maybe it was to prove that it happened.
First, you've got to understand, I was totally out of it by the time I got to the hotel.
I don't believe your story because I feel that if they were skinheads, they would have killed you because of what you do to people on your show.
Did you hire any private detectives to prove it?
Me?
Did you hire
any private detectives to chase anybody?
I would assume that if every person in this country who becomes a victim has to hire private detectives, we no longer need a police department.
Over here, yes, sir.
Hey, Phil,
what is
5 cranberry and vodka juice, I would have put a swastika on backwards also.
Yeah.
Yeah. This incident is only the straw that's going to break the camel's back for the cancellation of your show because it focuses on the negative hype that you generate. And regardless of guilt or innocence, your show is probably going to be canceled because of that.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Do you want it to be?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's an antagonistic show that just focuses on so much negative.
Is it antagonistic, sir, because it frees a man from death row after 14 years and doesn't go get publicity on that? Is it antagonistic, sir, because it goes out and it helps the homeless and puts them in homes and doesn't ask for publicity on that? You see exactly what the press wants you to see. Watch Downey more than once and you'll see.
Are you there, San Francisco?
Yes, I am.
I'll give you one more shot.
All right. When you were on the boat, Mort, you talked about how people come to you with the most fantastic stories and that when you root around in them, often they turn out to be fake.
Is this Chuck or David?
This is David.
David, yes.
Yes, and I wondered that if you understand why people may be a little skeptical about this story where there seem to be, even if you were indeed attacked, that there seem to be a lot of questions that remain on this.
There'll always be questions, sir, that remain on it because, A, as the gentleman in the back said, no one saw it happen except the perpetrators. B, because let's remember the inconsistencies of the police department. 2 Filipino witnesses disappeared, couldn't speak English. Unidentified witness saw it happen, disappeared, we'd never heard of them again. Now they can resurrect someone. But where are the police giving me the answer? And the answer is, I'm still supportive of police. They're overworked, underpaid, and maybe that's the problem.
And we'll be back in just a minute.
Here in Hidden 12227 READ.
All right, friends, we're going to find out how you feel. I believe Morton Downey should stay on the air. Nobody can prove his story is wrong, and I'd rather give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's save Morton's show. Trash TV's going too far. America will survive without him. I think Morton ought to be off the air. No, you don't. Morton wins. Yeah. Morton wins.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Morning Fresh is here. New Morning Fresh Snuggle Fabric Softener. Now everything you wash smells fresh and new.
True Value Hardware Stores, your place for service and selection, where you'll find their exclusive professional quality master mechanic hand and power tools.
The Drake offers an exciting weekend in New York at a special price. The only Swiss hotel on Park Avenue. For reservations, call 800-DRAKE-NEW YORK or 212-421-0900.
Fiancé Lori Krebs, are you standing by your man?
I sure am, 100%.
He's innocent, huh?
He's innocent. This is a man that's just recently had his warts removed from his face. He's lost a lot of weight.
One of the